Let me ask you something. What if I told you that just 3 simple movements could change the way you move, feel, and live after 60? Movements so simple you've probably done them thousands of times, but powerful enough to make you stronger, steadier, and more confident every single day. And the best part? You don't need a gym, heavy weights, or complicated routines. Just a few minutes, the right moves, and your body will thank you. Stay with me, because I'm about to show you exactly what they are, and why every senior over 60 should start doing them today. Aging has been blamed for so many things that it doesn't actually cause. Weakness, stiffness, loss of balance, low energy, and even fear of movement often get labeled as just part of getting older. But the truth is much more hopeful than that. The body doesn't suddenly decide to stop working because a birthday passes. What really changes is how we use it. Over time, many people move less, sit more, and avoid certain motions because they're uncomfortable or because they've been told they should slow down. The body simply adapts to what it's given. When movement becomes limited, strength fades not because of age, but because the muscles and joints are no longer being asked to do their job. Muscles are incredibly responsive at any age. They don't know how old you are. They only know whether they are being used. When you regularly stand up, walk, balance, reach, and bend with intention, muscles stay active and alive. When those movements disappear from daily life, the muscles quietly weaken. This is why 2 people of the same age can look and move completely differently. One feels fragile and unstable, while the other feels confident and capable. The difference isn't luck or genetics most of the time. It's how much and how well their body has been moved over the years. Many seniors are told to rest more as they age, but too much rest can actually accelerate weakness. The body is designed to adapt, and when it adapts to stillness, it becomes less resilient. Joints stiffen, balance fades, and everyday tasks begin to feel harder than they should. This creates a cycle where people move less because things feel difficult, and things feel difficult because they move less. Breaking that cycle doesn't require intense workouts or painful exercise. It requires reintroducing the body to simple movements it already understands. There's also a mental side to this. When people believe aging automatically means weakness, they start to treat their bodies as fragile. Movements become hesitant. Confidence fades. Fear replaces trust. But when movement is reintroduced in a safe and controlled way, something powerful happens. The body remembers what it can do. Confidence returns. Strength follows. This shift in mindset is just as important as the physical changes, because believing the body is capable encourages more movement, and more movement builds even more capability. The most important thing to understand is that weakness is not an inevitable destination. It is often a response to long periods of inactivity or avoidance. When the body is gently challenged, it responds by getting stronger, more balanced, and more resilient. Aging changes the body, yes, but it does not sentence it to weakness. The right kind of movement keeps muscles engaged, joints mobile, and confidence intact, proving that strength after 60 is not about fighting age, but about using the body in the ways it was always meant to move. Many people believe that getting stronger after 60 means pushing harder, lifting heavier weights, or following intense workout routines designed for younger bodies. But that belief often does more harm than good. Strength at this stage of life isn't built through exhaustion or punishment. It's built through movements that mirror real life and support the way the body actually functions every day. When exercise feels overwhelming or intimidating, it's easy to avoid it altogether, which leads to even more weakness over time. Simple movements remove that barrier and make strength feel approachable again. The body doesn't need complicated routines to get stronger. It needs consistency and relevance. Movements like standing up from a chair, walking with control, balancing on one leg, or bending safely at the hips may look basic, but they are powerful because they train multiple muscles at once in a coordinated way. These movements teach the body to work as a whole instead of isolating individual muscles. That kind of strength translates directly into daily activities, making life easier and safer, rather than just improving numbers in a gym. Extreme workouts often focus on intensity rather than sustainability. They may deliver quick results for some people, but they also carry higher risks, especially for joints and connective tissue that need more care with age. Simple movements, when done with attention and control, place just enough stress on the body to stimulate improvement without overwhelming it. This is the sweet spot where strength grows steadily while the risk of injury stays low. Over time, these small efforts add up to noticeable gains in stability, endurance, and confidence. They're also a psychological advantage to keeping movements simple. When exercises feel achievable, people are more likely to stick with them. Consistency matters far more than difficulty. A movement practiced a few minutes every day will always outperform a complex routine done once a week and then abandoned. Simple movements fit naturally into daily life, making them easier to maintain over months and years. That long-term consistency is what protects independence and quality of life. Strength after 60 is about supporting freedom, not chasing exhaustion. It's about being able to move without fear, to get up and down with ease, and to trust the body during everyday tasks. Simple movements respect the body's current abilities while gently expanding them. They meet the body where it is and guide it forward without force or pressure. When strength is built this way, it feels natural and sustainable, proving that the most effective path to staying strong later in life is not extreme effort. But smart and meaningful movement independence is often thought of as a personality trait, but in reality it is deeply physical. The ability to live freely, move confidently, and take care of daily tasks depends on how well the body can perform a few essential movements. Standing up, balancing, and bending may seem ordinary, but they form the foundation of almost everything we do. When these abilities are strong, life feels manageable. When they weaken, even simple activities can begin to feel limiting and frustrating. Standing up from a chair is more than just a movement. It represents the strength of the legs, hips, and core working together. This single action affects how easily someone can get out of bed, rise from the toilet, or stand after sitting for a while. When standing becomes difficult, people start avoiding situations that require it. They choose higher chairs, lean on furniture, or wait for help. Over time, this avoidance reduces strength even further. Quietly chipping away at independence balance is what allows the body to move through space with confidence. It helps prevent falls, but it also affects how relaxed or tense someone feels while walking, turning, or standing still. Poor balance doesn't just increase risk, it creates fear. That fear leads to stiffness and hesitation, which ironically makes balance worse. When balance is practiced regularly, the body becomes better at making small adjustments, and the mind learns to trust those adjustments. This trust changes how a person moves through the world. Bending is another movement that often disappears with age, not because it's impossible, but because it feels risky. Picking something up from the floor, leaning forward, or reaching down becomes something people avoid. When bending is avoided, flexibility decreases and the back becomes weaker, reinforcing the fear. Practicing safe, controlled bending teaches the body how to hinge at the hips instead of stressing the spine. This restores confidence and keeps the body capable of handling everyday tasks. These three movements are deeply connected. When standing is strong, balance improves. When balance improves, bending feels safer. When bending feels safe, movement becomes more fluid and natural. Together, they create a cycle of confidence and capability that supports independence. Losing these movements doesn't happen overnight, and rebuilding them doesn't require extreme effort. It requires attention, patience, and consistency. Independence isn't about doing everything alone, but about having the physical ability to choose how you live. Standing up easily, balancing confidently, and bending safely give people options. They reduce reliance, increase freedom, and protect dignity. When these movements are maintained, life stays open and flexible, showing that true independence after 60 begins with mastering the simplest movements of the human body. When people think about preventing falls, they often focus only on building stronger muscles, assuming that strength alone will keep them safe. While strength is important, it is not the whole picture. Many falls happen not because the body is weak, but because it cannot react quickly enough to a sudden change in position. A slip, a misstep, or a quick turn requires balance and coordination more than raw strength. This is why confidence and balance play such a critical role in staying upright, and safe balance is the body's ability to make constant, tiny adjustments without conscious effort. These adjustments come from the communication between the brain, the muscles, the joints, and the nervous system. When balance is not practiced, this communication becomes slower and less precise. The body hesitates instead of responding smoothly. That hesitation is often what turns a small stumble into a fall. Training balance helps the body react automatically, which is exactly what is needed in real-life situations. Confidence is closely tied to balance. When people are afraid of falling, they move differently. Steps become shorter, posture becomes tense, and movements become cautious. This tension actually makes balance worse, because the body is no longer moving naturally. Fear interrupts the body's ability to flow and adjust. When balance exercises are practiced regularly, even in a gentle and supported way, confidence grows. The body learns that it can handle slight instability, and the mind begins to relax as confidence increases. Movement becomes smoother and more relaxed. This relaxed movement allows balance mechanisms to work properly. The body is no longer bracing against every step or turn. Instead, it adapts fluidly. This is why someone with good balance often looks calm and steady, even if they are not exceptionally strong. Their body trusts itself, and that trust allows quick corrections when something unexpected happens. Strength supports balance, but it does not replace it. Strong legs do not automatically mean good balance, just as good balance does not require extreme strength. The two work best together, but balance is often the missing piece. Simple balance practices teach the body how to stand on one leg, shift weight, and recover from small disturbances. These skills are exactly what prevent falls in daily life. Preventing falls is not about eliminating all risk. It is about preparing the body to respond when life is unpredictable. Confidence and balance give the body options. They allow quick reactions, calm adjustments, and steady movement. When balance is trained and confidence is restored, the fear of falling diminishes, and with it the likelihood of falling. This shows that true fall prevention is built not just on strength, but on trust, awareness, and the body's ability to stay centered in motion when people think about preventing falls. They often assume the solution is simply to get stronger, to build bigger muscles or push heavier resistance. But falls rarely happen because someone lacks brute strength. Most falls happen in a split second, during a moment of surprise when the body needs to react quickly and automatically. A foot catches on a rug, the ground is uneven, or a turn is made too fast, and in that instant, balance and confidence matter far more than how much strength someone has built. Without balance, strength has no time to show up. Balance is a skill rooted in communication between the brain and the body. It depends on how well the nervous system senses changes and sends signals to the muscles to make tiny corrections. When balance is not practiced, these signals become slower and less accurate. The body hesitates, and hesitation is often what turns a small misstep into a fall. Practicing balance keeps these pathways sharp, allowing the body to react without panic or delay. Confidence plays an equally important role. When someone is afraid of falling, their movements change. Steps become stiff and guarded. The body tightens up in an attempt to feel safe, but that tension actually interferes with balance. A tense body cannot adjust smoothly. It overreacts or freezes. This is why fear of falling often increases the risk rather than reducing it. Confidence allows the body to stay relaxed enough to move naturally and respond appropriately. As balance improves, confidence follows. When a person experiences themselves standing on one leg, shifting weight, or recovering from slight instability, their trust in their body grows. That trust changes how they walk, turn, and move through daily life. Movements become more fluid and less cautious. The body no longer anticipates failure, and that expectation alone reduces the likelihood of falling. Strength still matters, but it works best as support rather than the main defense. Strong muscles help the body hold positions and absorb force, but balance determines whether those muscles are used at the right moment. Someone with excellent balance can often recover from a stumble even without exceptional strength, while someone very strong but poorly balanced may fall because their body doesn't know how to respond quickly. True fall prevention comes from preparing the body for real-world unpredictability. Life does not move in straight lines or controlled environments. Confidence and balance train the body to stay calm under sudden challenges. They teach the nervous system to adapt instead of panic. When balance is practiced and confidence is restored, movement feels safer and more natural, proving that the most powerful protection against falls is not just strength, but the ability to trust the body to respond when it matters most. Many people believe that staying active means pushing harder, sweating more, and constantly challenging the body to its limits, but after 60, the rules change in a very important way. The body responds better to consistency than intensity. Gentle movement done regularly sends a clear and positive message to the muscles, joints, and nervous system that they are still needed. This steady signal keeps the body engaged and adaptable without overwhelming it. When movement is too intense or irregular, the body often reacts with soreness, fatigue, or even injury. This creates hesitation and discouragement, making it harder to stay active long term. Gentle movement avoids this problem by working with the body instead of against it. It allows recovery to happen naturally while still providing enough challenge to stimulate strength, balance, and mobility. Over time, this approach builds resilience rather than breaking the body down. Consistency creates momentum. When movement becomes a daily habit, even for a few minutes, the body begins to expect it. Joints feel looser, muscles respond more easily, and stiffness decreases. These changes may feel subtle at first, but they accumulate quietly. The body becomes easier to move, and everyday activities require less effort. This gradual improvement often goes unnoticed until one day movement simply feels better than it did before. Gentle movement also reduces fear. When exercises are approachable and pain-free, people are more willing to engage with their bodies. This positive relationship with movement builds trust. The body learns that movement is safe, and the mind stops associating activity with discomfort or risk. This shift encourages more frequent movement throughout the day, which further reinforces strength and mobility. Independence is preserved not through occasional bursts of effort, but through steady care. Gentle movement practice consistently supports circulation, joint health, posture, and balance. It keeps the nervous system responsive and the muscles active. These benefits extend beyond the physical, improving mood, confidence, and mental clarity. Movement becomes something that enhances life rather than something to endure. The true secret to staying active and independent after 60 is not intensity or complexity. It is showing up regularly and moving with intention. Gentle, consistent movement respects the body's needs while quietly strengthening it. Over time, this approach proves that lasting health is built through patience and persistence, allowing the body to remain capable, confident, and connected to movement for years to come.